And what is up, Peter Peeps? Welcome in to a Wednesday edition. It is of the PeterCast presented by BetUS.com. It is the day before Thanksgiving, and there is nothing that I am more thankful for than to be on here tonight with my partner, Ren Dax. Ren, happy Thanksgiving. How's your week been?
It's been good. As we know, Josh, I have to get up at an ungodly hour to get to work. I have to wake up like around 3:30 in the morning, and we go live after games. So Monday night, we went live, and then, of course, we had an extra long one because people kept calling in. And then, so I didn't get to bed till like 1:30. So I had to go to work, like 2 hours sleep, and then after I got off work and came home, I slept from 4:30 in the afternoon, got up at 11 at night, ordered something on Uber Eats, ate it, then went back to bed till 3:30.
Oh, jeez.
So
just to get your just to get the body clock right going in.
So that's
here.
how I've been. There's a long drawn out version.
That is the long drawn out version, but it is definitely good to hear that, Ren, that you're at least awake for tonight's broadcast as we are live on YouTube. And of course, you can listen to us wherever you get your favorite podcast, the podcast version. We thank you for being along with us. On Wednesdays, we always look across the field at the next week's opponent for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this week it is the Indianapolis Colts coming off of a huge win over the Buffalo Bills. 41-15 was the final in that game. And joining us today is the contributor for the I always get this wrong. It's across the block.
Around the block.
I keep wanting to say around the band. So aroundtheblock.com, the atbnetwork.com. Josh Foster is the Colts contributor for that website. Josh, thank you for joining us. I appreciate you being here. We always start with you are right now contributing, bringing in articles for ATB about the Colts, but you haven't been there your entire life, and you're obviously, if you're watching this on YouTube, Josh is a very young guy. You can tell he's a lot younger than Ren and I. That's certainly the case.
Hearsay.
So, Ren's saying that because he's older than I am, and I know
also hearsay.
So anyway, I want to get a little bit of background about you, so our listeners can get to know you a little better. How long have you been with ATB? What's your I guess the background like to get there, and maybe what you're looking to do while you're there to cover stuff about the Colts.
Started with ATB earlier this year. Actually, I saw a post on Twitter, and it was like, hey, do you have experience? Do you want to do this sort of thing? And I shot them a DM, and we went from there. And I've had a lot of fun writing articles and stuff. Just recently got back into it. Have one posting, ready to post today. Earlier, before I started that, I did for Madden. We have a 32-man league, and I would write mock articles about the teams and the players and what they would do and what they would say. And it was really a great way to get my creative energy out. Been a lifelong Colts fan, and when I got the opportunity at the ATB, I took it. And what I want to do is just keep doing what I'm doing. Maybe one day get higher up, but right now, I just love what I'm doing.
He's one of us.
One of us.
Exactly. All right, well, let's jump into it then, Josh. I mean, let's set the table here for Bucs fans. Carson Wentz went from, surefire, can't miss, franchise quarterback, and then, a couple years later, Philly didn't want to see his ugly face anymore. So he goes and reunites with Frank Reich. Season started off rough. It looked like Carson Wentz last year at Eagles, that it was early on with, he was with the Colts, and then something changed. So can you sort of talk about, I don't want to say the maturation, but sort of the journey Carson Wentz has been on, and now, the Colts, after losing the first three, have been on, I think, one of the most consistent teams in the AFC this year.
We have gotten incredibly hot. We did start 0-3. I can't remember a year with Coach Reich that we haven't started 0 something.
Okay.
I mean, 2018 with Luck, we had that huge 1-5 start, and then of course we went back from there with Brissett, with Rivers. It's just we're slow starting, and I really think this year it hurt a lot the fact that Carson missed training camp, and when we did get him in there, we had Big Q hurt, we had Braden Smith hurt, a lot of pieces missing. T.Y. Hilton went down. Just it takes a while to build that chemistry, especially when you miss the offseason. So it was really good, but it seems to be taking full effect now. He seems to be looking just as good as he has been. I can't complain. I've wanted him since day one, so
all right.
I love it.
All right, so what's changed, do you think, the most? Is it just, because we sort of have this as Bucs fans, we saw this last year, with Tom Brady, week 6, he's still like reading the plays off his arm, and he had some chemistry with some guys, but he'd miss other guys, and it just didn't come as naturally. There's nothing really. Is there something you can point to that the offensive lines played better, or the play calling changed? Obviously, Jonathan Taylor becoming a bell cow fantasy back helped out a lot. Or is it just you just think that all the time he missed in training camp, and now he's just sort of getting his sea legs under him?
I think a big issue for him was the fact that in Philadelphia, he had to play hero ball. If they wanted to win, he had to do everything. He had to extend the plays, make the drives. And we still see that time and again, especially like this last Sunday in Buffalo. He had that big third down run. That was huge. But the weapons he has now are just better across the board incrementally from what he had in Philly. And I think from a mental standpoint, that just takes some time for him to get used to, that he doesn't have to do everything. He can hand it off to a running back, and that running back can actually produce. He's got a number 1 wide receiver. He's got 3 great tight ends, two tight ends, and then we have that rookie that Frank Reich's really high on. So 3 tight ends, and the defense has played phenomenal. He's not always trailing by 3 or 4 scores, trying to make up so much ground all by himself. I think that's just really helped him settle down and relax.
Okay, I'm going to bounce over to the defense. You said the defense played incredible. I don't know anybody on the Colts defense. Like who are their pillars there? Who should Buck fans look out for? How are they playing incredible? Are they getting a lot of 3 and outs? Are they playing incredible red zone? Are they getting turnovers? It kind of sounds like the Colts defense is sort of carrying the team until the offense can catch up, maybe from game to game, not necessarily all through the year. Tell us about, familiarize us. If I would say Colts defense, I don't know anything. Give me 2 minutes on and make me an expert. Oh, okay.
And do it while not muting your mic.
Yeah, that's true. There
you go.
My bad.
It's okay.
I mute it when I'm not talking because I'm a heavy breather and I don't want you guys hearing Darth Vader in the background. No, we have Darius Leonard, who is the highest paid linebacker in the league.
Mm-hmm.
He is a playmaker. He's not that great in zone coverage. You will see teams exploit that. I expect Brady to exploit that this week. But he's got a nose for the ball, and he has mastered the peanut punch. The Colts defense itself is on pace for 39 turnovers this year, forced and recovered. So they are just forcing picks and fumbles everywhere. They're getting sacks for loss with DeForest Buckner, the first team All-Pro up front, anchoring down that defensive line. Our weakness is going to be our secondary, as Steve and I talked yesterday about Sendejo. There's a lot of issues there, but Kenny Moore is the slot corner and one of the best in the league. He actually had another interception this last week where he played volleyball with himself before he caught it. It was really cool. If you didn't see it, please check it out. He batted it up to himself twice and then caught the ball. But Colts defense-wise, the strength is in that front 7. We got to get to the quarterback, and we're getting really good at that. Our rookies on the edges are coming on really strong. And DeForest Buckner is, of course, DeForest Buckner. I mean, we gave a first-round pick for him. He was a first-team All-Pro, and he is looking to maintain that same pace. He is top 10 in almost every defensive tackle category. The guy that's not really talked about a lot in our linebacking core is Bobby Okereke, who until this year we called Okereke because he didn't correct us. But it is Okereke, and he is a phenomenal, just athletic, rangy guy that is there, and he can make surefire tackles, and that's what you need to fill those holes when you got Lombardi Lenny running through them this week.
So give me the names of those rookie edges and where they come from. Where'd you get them in the draft, or are they or are they undrafted free agents? Educate us on those guys.
Kwity Paye fell to us in the first round.
Kwity Paye,
really
yeah,
excited that he fell from Michigan. And we also picked up in the second round Deo Odengbo. He tore his ACL, which caused him to fall down draft board. So he actually has only been playing like 2 or 3 weeks, recovering from that ACL injury. But Kwity Paye is up for Defensive Rookie of the Week honors with his game versus the Bills. And Deo, 2 weeks ago, had his welcome to the NFL moment when he forced the game-ending fumble on Trevor Lawrence. So they're coming on at the right time. It's really helping that front four get moving and that front seven really gel.
So you mentioned, and we talked about this yesterday, just for the sake of transparency. Josh and I were on the Double Overtime podcast, which is on the Around the Block Network as well. So talking about this game, we talked yesterday a little bit about the secondary, and you mentioned the problems that the Colts have had in the secondaries, particularly at safety. So how do they combat that? Do they ask maybe the off ball linebackers to try and play a little more zone, or do they try and kind of confuse people with blitzing from different places and having different guys drop back into coverage? How does that work?
It's worked lately doing the disguising and moving them around to try and really hide our weakness. And it really helps that our second-year corner, Isaiah Rodgers, I want to say second year, I'm pretty positive second-year corner, has really come on. He almost had another pick last week with a diving zone read of Josh Allen's eyes. It was a great play. And Rock Yassin, third-year guy, has really come on, and it helps a lot. But the weakness being that Julian Blackman is out with an ACL injury. Kerry Willis is out with another injury. So we're starting all pro special teamer George Odom, who has done phenomenal. And we're starting Anthony Sendejo, or Andrew Sendejo. Sorry. And he has just been awful in coverage. And versus guys that don't have a lot of time, we had Allen moving a lot, got him off his spot, and that's what we're going to have to do versus Tom. But Tom is masterful at reading the defense, and he's going to have those protections ready. So Josh Allen didn't. But that's what we're going to have to do, is we're going to have to disguise, and we're going to have to disguise right.
So are you guys be able to do you play a 3-4 or 4-3?
4-3.
So are you guys be able to get home with 4, or at least against Buffalo? Did you get home with 4, or did you have to send 5 or more to get him off his spot?
We don't blitz often, except when the game plan calls for it. There are certain teams that we do blitz a lot on. But like Baltimore we had to blitz a lot on, especially with Miami. But no, the second defensive tackle guys, Grover Stewart, Stallworth, Rochelle, have really had a coming out party as Buckner's absorbing those blocks, and they are able to get home.
Interesting. I want to go back to the offense a little bit. We talked about Carson Wentz. You mentioned Jonathan Taylor a little bit, but I really want to get into, because we talked about this yesterday. I think that for the Colts to have success, they're going to have to get the ball to the outside and try and stretch the field. Michael Pittman Jr. Is obviously the number one there with T.Y. Hilton done, but I'm curious because if Pittman is covered, what about some of the other I guess choices, that some of the other looks that Carson Wentz is going to have. What is Zach Pascal really been that disappointing this year? And you mentioned the tight ends. What are they going to do if the coverage is rolled towards Pittman?
I think when they roll the coverage to Pittman, Wentz is going to look right at Jack Doyle, and Devin White, being the good linebacker that he is going to probably take that away. Pascal is not a disappointment. It's just I think the game planning has gone away from him, and Wentz's chemistry with Pittman has just gotten that much better over time. Hilton is still there. I wouldn't say he's done. He's still active. He's just not nearly what the Ghost used to be as age catches up with all of us. But no, if those guys are covered, he's going to look for Nyheim Hines, and he's going to look for Zach Pascal. Pascal week 1 had a great week, put up almost 20 fantasy points. And then since then, the play calling has really been geared towards Pittman and the tight ends to kind of tone it down a little bit. But if those guys are covered and he needs to get it out quick, he's going to look for Nyheim Hines. He's going to look for Pascal.
All right, Jonathan Taylor. I just want to make sure I get this right. Last week scored 47 touchdowns. Okay, got it. Talk about how, like, because he was a high pick, first round, if I'm not mistaken. No, second round.
He fell to the second.
Yeah, second round. You know, came in his rookie year. You know, I don't follow the Colts closely, but he seemed to not be like one of those splash players. He didn't come in like Ezekiel Elliott or something, or Kareem Hunt or something like that. And then, like, you know, you guys had Marlon Mack at one point, and he was getting carries, and then and you have Hines as your third down back, and it just didn't seem he was finding, like, you know, sort of his role there at Indianapolis. And then, you know, once the Colts got hot, these past 6 weeks or so, he's really seemed to blossom into his own. Can you talk about sort of like where he started at and where he is now, and can you give some reasons why that he's turned into, you know, the fantasy darling that he is now?
So he fell in the draft from Wisconsin due to fumbling issues, but he had a ton of carries. So fumbles are going to happen. That's just a part of life. Chris Ballard traded up to get him in front of Jacksonville, worried that the Jags were going to take him, and thank the Lord he did. Marlon Mack was still the lead back, got injured late in the season in Marlon Mack fashion, and then Taylor came on. But he had some of those fumbling issues as well, so that really tempered the Colts' use of him. And then, of course, last year, Week 17, he set all kinds of franchise rookie records, rushing for over 200 yards at Jacksonville. But, you know, it's Jacksonville. This year he came in, has been toting the rock, was averaging, I think, 18 touches, not carries per se, but touches the first few weeks, just trying to break him in. And then ever since the Colts have taken off, it's just because we've leaned on the run. Linemen wearing the run the damn ball hats with their T-shirts. I mean, that's what they want to do. That's what they need to do, and that's what we've been doing, and it's working so far. We don't need to have our quarterback throw 50 times a game yet.
Okay, what? The linemen are like having a protest or a sit-in?
They got their white hats, white hats with blue letterings just say RTDB, run the damn ball. That's okay. Quentin Nelson started that last year or 2 years ago, and they've just ran with it ever since. It's just been like a club joke. It's just an inside mantra thing.
All right. And speaking of Quentin Nelson, if I remember right, he got hurt again last game. Where he's at? He's
been dealing with an ankle issue. It seems like all of our superstars are. Darius Leonard's dealing with one as well. He will play Sunday. I mean, I'm 90% sure, unless some act of God keeps him out, he's going to play. But he's been definitely dealing with that right ankle issue ever since he came off IR. When you're that big and that physical, your body does break down a little quicker. It's rough to see this early, but he's a big dude and he's a very physical man.
Right.
So, and he doesn't get a break. You don't ever see offensive linemen come off the field. They're really the unsung heroes of the teams.
So, talk about the offensive line. How have they been? Like, are they better in pass protection or run? Okay, let's hear it. Who's garbage?
So, to start the season, Braden Smith who didn't give up a single pressure last year. No sacks allowed on him. Got hurt week 1. So, we're running Julie Davenport, Sam Tevy, just tackles you don't know because you don't know them for a reason. And then Ryan Kelly got hurt. Big Q got hurt. At one point, I'm pretty sure Mark Lewinsky was the only starter on the offensive line from last year. There was just so much change and turnover. Okay. But we got hot because Ryan Kelly came back. Big Q came back. Eric Fisher, who we signed from the Chiefs, has finally recovered from his ACL injury, and he's getting into the groove. Not at the Anthony Costanzo level, but he's doing his job well. Braden Smith is back, so the starting 5 that we planned to have are finally all back and healthy, and that's really helping draw that, just lean on that run when you have the ability to run the ball like we do. Pass protection-wise, the only thing that really gets us is I think Wentz is still in that Eagles mode where he gets antsy in the pocket if he waits too long and he takes off, and when you scramble on an offensive lineman, there's going to be holding.
Right.
Like they can't see it. The guy tries to move, and they get dragged down. You see it every week,
right.
And that's just a really big detriment.
We call that Jameis-like here in Tampa. If you hold the ball for more than, say, a second and a half and you start dancing around,
gotta go.
Yeah, when you gotta go, that's very Jameis Winston-like. We don't know what that is anymore here in Tampa. So
you got a really good quarterback down there.
Yeah,
rumor has it.
Yeah, so some people say that he's really had his way with the Indianapolis Colts over the course of his career.
It's been a rough go, man. so many years, so many good years, and then you just meet the Patriots in Foxborough, and Tom Brady just kills your hopes and dreams, and you're like, well, there's always next year. That's why we hold 2006 in high esteem. Like, come back in the AFC Championship, best moment of my life. Super Bowl was great. That was the best moment of my life.
Now, it remind me, and because my recollection, 2006 was a long time ago. That AFC Championship game was in Indianapolis, if I'm not mistaken. So
yeah, and we were down like 21 early. Peyton threw a nasty pick six.
Yep, and Belichick just had an awful second half. I just remember going, "What the hell is he calling? Like, what are you doing?"
The 4th and 2 play where he bobbled it, greatness. Just a great game altogether. Highlight of my life.
Absolutely. Now, because Ren loves it so much, I have to get a special teams question in. Because forever you would think of the Colts and you would think of Adam Vinatieri, being the kicker there, and almost automatic, every time he came out onto the field. But that's not the case here this year with the Colts. What's going on with the kicking situation?
I blame myself for Vinatieri getting old because I told my mom that I don't ever have to worry because we have Vinatieri. And after that, he started missing a few more. But this year, we took a kicker last year, Rodrigo Blankenship, and this year he got injured. So we brought in Michael Badgley from the Chargers. And since then, Badgley's been perfect. No misses. He's been perfect from everywhere. So now that Rodrigo's getting healthy, there is a real who starts at kicker next week sort of feel going around campus. And Rikus said he's going to go with the hot foot as a play on words of the hot hand situation. But yeah, no, there actually is a kicker controversy in Indy possibly. So Badgley has been perfect.
We don't like to hear that.
No, we don't like hearing that. We do like Rodrigo Blankenship only because of he had a really cool NFL Films Presents that you can watch on YouTube where like Carissa Thompson was like talking to him about like building Legos and stuff like that. He's an interesting character.
He's very personable. And if there's ever a game where Badgley's going to miss his first one, I guarantee you it'll be versus Tom. That's just how it works in Indy.
That's what we like to hear.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. We prepped you for this one. So 000, fourth quarter, Lucas Oil Field. Colts are victorious. Tom Brady, to your joy, goes down, looking miserable. Colts, yes. Colts win. Ultimate revenge. Probably the last time you're going to play him.
See him in the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, okay. So last time you might play him in his whole entire career, maybe. But the Colts win. And so how did that happen? What needs to transpire offensively, defensively for the Colts that you think for the Colts to win this game?
Offensively, we got to have long drives. Points are going to be at a premium. So, I mean, even if we can finish with just 3, but you got to have long drives. The best way to knock a quarterback out of rhythm is keep him off the field. Tom can't hurt you if Tom's on the bench. Defensively, last week, we had an average starting field position of the 46.6 yard line, which was tops in the league. Defensively, we're going to have to do that again. I mean, it's really easy to score when you're a foot away from the end zone. So we're going to have to do that again. And hopefully we can do it, but that's what it's going to take. Jonathan Taylor's going to have long drives. Wentz is going to have to be near perfect. And I mean, we give Brady a lot of credit because he is the name down there in Tampa Bay, but that team is loaded. It's just loaded everywhere. You got more weapons than you can shake a stick at. So if we let Tom extend those drives, he's going to find our weaknesses and he's going to exploit them with a spotlight. So to win, we got to control the clock, and it's got to be almost 2-1. Not winning the time possession by like 2 or 3 minutes. We got to dominate. And if we can pull that off, we get the dub. But if not, Tom's walking out of Indy at a very familiar feeling, a big old smile on his face.
You probably didn't watch the game, but what you just described is pretty much a carbon copy of what happened in the Washington game, the Washington football team game. You know, the 2 turnovers early on our side of the field, Washington capitalized. And then when finally we got back into it, we just needed the ball one more time, the Washington football team went on a 11-minute, 9 19
play,
play touchdown drive, which left like 45 seconds on the clock. Like, they got the ball with like 11:59 left in the fourth, and we didn't get the ball back to like 45 seconds. So it kind of sounds like, yeah, you need, or what you're looking for is a Washington football team game. One question, do you think this is a game that defensively the Colts blitz? That's their game plan. See you, Steve.
You have to get Tom off his spot, so I wouldn't be surprised at all if that's what Eberflus is drawing up. You have to move Tom, and you got to move him to his left, because versus right, he's just as good as anybody throwing on the run. But I would expect to see Kenny Moore blitzing out of the slot a lot more often this game.
That was my question. So who's your best blitzer? Is it Kenny Moore? Okay, so come in and off the slot doing his Rondé Barber impersonation. That's a Bucs thing. Don't worry about it if you don't know what I'm talking
about.
I
know who Rondé is.
All right.
My little brother growing up is a huge Bucs fan.
So why Kenny Moore and not Darius Leonard?
Kenny's just smaller. He's 5 foot nothing, and he's so much quicker. Darius is a phenomenal ball hawk. Can play it really well, but if he comes, it's not going to be off the edge. It's going to be up the gut between the A or B gaps.
Right.
Kenny's going to blitz you off the side. Hopefully, with Kwity and Deo absorbing those tackles, Kenny can get by there. But if that's who you're going to look at. That's just one of Eberflus's favorite things to do, is blitz Kenny out of that slot. It was incredibly effective versus Mahomes in that AFC Championship game in 18, or AFC playoff game, not championship. My apologies, playoff game in 18, and he's never stopped doing it.
All right, man. Tell everyone where they can find you, and if you have any last words.
I don't have last words. You can
right.
find me on Twitter at MooseBoyJ. Articles at Around the Block. There's all kinds of stuff going on over there. If you want to write or have looked for a foot in the door, give them a shout, man. They're pretty great.
Thanks
for having me on so much, guys.
Of course. Do they have a Bucs division or a Bucs thing?
Yeah. I don't know if we have one currently, but if you want to write, Ren, come on now.
No, I do not. I do not. No, I did that once for a little bit. And first off, I think I'm a little bit dyslexic, and I really struggle writing. I think I do a good job, but it does not come easy. It's a major struggle for me to write something. So, no. But thank you, Josh.
Josh, we appreciate it, but enjoy the game. And who knows, if we get to the Super Bowl and see the Colts, you're going to get a call from me again.
It's been great to be on. Thank you so much. It's been an honor. Have a wonderful evening, guys. Good luck this Sunday. I hope no injuries for either team.
Yes.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, Josh. See you, man.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, buddy. That is Josh Foster from Around the Block, as he is one of the main contributors to their Colts for the Colts section of AroundTheBlock.com. We'll get to what we thought of what he was saying here and some of the things that kind of surprised us in just a second. I do want to mention, of course, that the PewterCast is presented by our friends at BetUS.com. And we're thankful for BetUS for being the sponsor of the PewterCast, and they have been around for quite a while, 27 years now, paying off winners for all of their lines. And if you go to BetUS.com, they've got everything for you right now. You've got the NFL and college football, of course, the NHL and the NBA now back in full swing. Golf, when it gets going here at the start of the year, will get going as well. Plus the UFC and Ren's favorite, the ponies.
The ponies.
And you can get a little extra scratch from BetUS.com by using the promo code Pewter with the letter C and the number 125. Go to BetUS.com. Again, the promo code PewterC, that is the letter C, with the number 125, and you can get a 125% sign-up bonus. So you log on, you sign up, you use the promo code PewterC125, and you deposit $100. You'll have $225 in your account to make wagers with. Again, it is the best way to help support the PewterCast is through BetUS.com. You bet, you win, you get paid with BetUS. And both Ren and I got paid last week.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Thanks to the Colts for me.
Yep, and thanks to the San Francisco 49ers and Minnesota for me.
That was a gutsy bet, man.
Well, as soon as I saw that Aaron Rodgers was gonna be dealing with turf toe, I was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with it. Plus, the Vikings were at home. If that had been in Lambeau, I probably would have stayed away.
Well, anyway, it worked. I completely forgot DeForest Buckner was a Colt.
Yeah, me too.
Completely.
Not going to lie.
So it sounds like, they're sort of hanging their hat defensively on their front four.
Yep.
It seems to be their strength of their defense. Darius Leonard, I mean, Bucs fans should know him. I think he's had like 87 picks against Jameis in that one game that we played him. Jameis had a blind spot for the dropping middle linebacker pretty much throughout his 5 years he was here. And I think Darius Leonard got him twice. When they
Sounds right.
The last time they played him at home. And he's one of those younger linebackers on his first contract that kind of can do it all. It was interesting to hear Josh say that he struggles in coverage, so that could be a big day for Gronk. Kenny Moore, they say he's playing awesome in slot, but if he's 5'0",
Yeah.
we're like Josh said, we're loaded.
Yeah, unless he's going up against Jalen Darden.
Yeah,
he's going to be in big trouble.
It's kind of hard to. I mean, I don't know how well he's playing. So, there's been plenty of corners in the league that were under 6 feet tall. That had really good careers. Most of them been safeties, but whatever. But like Aeneas Williams, he was a shorter guy. So was Darrell Green, two of the best corners, both Hall of Famers. But I don't really know how he's playing. But he's not going up like against Buffalo's third wide receiver. He's going up against Bucs' third wide receiver. So
yes, who is normally a taller guy, because it's good when your third wide receiver is Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
But even when it's not Antonio Brown, it's going to be
Godwin.
Tyler Johnson. Yeah, or you're gonna
He's
have
playing
Godwin
slot.
inside.
It's going to be Godwin. Godwin's 6'1".
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a rough go of it.
For me, the thought that the Colts are going to want to try and run the football.
Yeah, this game totally might hinge on at least the better they run the ball, the more probability of the Colts winning goes up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think I've seen a game of Jonathan Taylor. I don't think I've watched a whole game of him actually playing. So I don't know what to expect at all. At least, not in the pros. I mean, I've seen some Wisconsin games back in the day.
Yeah.
But
I saw him in the Outback Bowl. So I was like, this kid's incredible. And then there was like the fumbling issues. I was like, wow. He dropped out of the first round because of it. But really, I look at it. Okay, we saw Vita Vea out in the walkthrough today.
Almost played.
Yeah,
played Monday night.
And the BA said that he almost played on Monday. It's like this is a week after getting carted off the field in Washington, and he almost played. So the likelihood is high that he's going to play this weekend, and that I think just provides another big thorn in the side for trying to run for Jonathan Taylor trying to run the football.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, again, I think the whole game is going to sort of, at least on the Indianapolis side, is going to hinge on that. He was not very complimentary of the secondary. The offensive lines has its woes, but they're all back now. I guess they have to gel. They got rookie edges, and they're playing well. I was actually high on Kwity Paye coming out of the draft.
I remember that.
Was somebody that I was looking at, possibly for the Buccaneers. Ended up with, of course, Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. But our tackles are playing really well. I mean, Bruce Arians just gave him a shout out in the presser. The Tuesday / which is usually the Monday presser. He's talking about how the offensive line is all playing well, and then he finished it off, and he goes, especially the tackles, and they are. I mean, Donovan Smith, like, I haven't yelled at his name in feels like a year and a half. No penalties. It feels like in the past couple of weeks. No false starts. Not giving up any pressures. Playing to the whistle, which was something that was always a struggle for him. And then worse, we got to say his name because he got that bullcrap holding penalty on him. That everybody and their grandmother debunked on Twitter Tuesday morning, saying, yeah, that's not a hold. That's not a hold. And then Bruce Arians, of course, in his Tuesday presser was like, yeah, that's not a hold. So, yeah, again, I talked about how this could be the biggest test for the Bucs the rest of the season, the way the schedule pops up, because I just don't believe in the Bills. I mean, the Bills beat the crap out of teams they're supposed to, but when they come up to anybody who has like a 500 record or better, they've lost.
Yeah.
So, it's really hard to kind of make heads or tails of what the Bills are. So this is it. I mean, if the Bucs don't do something crazy, and throw 2 interceptions on their side of the field in the first half type of deal, like this is going to be the game that's going to be the hardest to win. And if they get by this one, and everything in Buffalo could change, it's a week to week league. So, Buffalo could kind of find their flow like Indianapolis did after week 3, and Buffalo could rattle off, 4 or 5 wins before we meet them later on in the season. But I think this is it. And, we talked to Corey in Nashville, who lives in Tennessee. So, he talked about how he sees a lot of Colts games, gets a lot of Colts coverage because of the Titans, and he lives in their hometown. And he's not a big Colts. He wasn't a big Colt complimentary guy. He was not.
That's putting it lightly.
Yes,
mildly.
Yes, he rocket citied the Colts, which is the hat I'm wearing. Did I show you my hat?
Yeah, that's nice.
No, did I show you that the Rocket City Trash Panda hat?
No, you have a Rocket City Trash Pandas hat?
I didn't tell you?
No. Oh, Ren is pulling off his... Oh, look at that. Nice. My friend Lyndon used to be the sports director at one of the... I forget if it's the ABC or the CBS affiliate in Huntsville. And so she used to do a lot of like the like in stadium hosting stuff for Rocket City Trash Pandas, minor league baseball. She's not there anymore.
Once you told me that name, I was like, oh, I got to get something. It came in a box that looked like a trash can, like the lithograph on the outside was like a ribbed trash can. They sent me like 3 stickers with it.
Nice.
I thought I got the black hat, but it came red. Whatever.
That's okay. It goes along well with the background there. My wife just texted me as she's listening. She says, and I'm going to quote her on this.
Okay.
I want one of those fucking Trash Pandas shirts.
Do it, man. They're out there. They got I mean, they understand that they've got a really cool, even cooler than most minor league baseball mascot names or names. And their I guess gear shop, it's pretty well stocked, Nice. I mean, I try to go.
Minor league baseball is the best because you've got the Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Yep.
Binghamton, New York has the Rumble Ponies. I figured you'd like that one too.
I do like the Rumble Ponies. I got to see that mascot.
And then Jacksonville, who is now the AAA affiliate of the Miami Marlins, they're the Jumbo Shrimp. It's hilarious. And then New Orleans used to have a minor league team. They were the Baby Cakes.
There you go. Wow. I would love to have that. Cause
I got this one.
That's I remember. They're still exist.
No, they're gone.
They're gone? Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Which is why I have this. This was I was able to go down. They had a
is that
a fire
the
sale.
Stone crabs?
The Charlotte Stone Crabs, down in Port Charlotte. But I like it because it's SC, Steve Carney.
Oh, okay. Nice.
So when they went out of business, they had a garage sale or a fire sale.
Yeah.
And it was like everything was out on the lawn. Hey, come pick it up, give us a price, and we'll and so
toss us a quarter.
my buddy Josh Grant is the PA announcer down there, and so I said, hey, go get me one of them SC hats, and I'll pay you back. He's like, they gave me 4 of them, so. Like,
and $1.
I was like, yes, I don't have to pay you now. So, but
I'm gonna look into the Rumble Ponies, but the trash, the
Rocket City Trash Pandas.
Yeah, they've got a pretty good gear store, and I was a little shocked because I wanted to get a Rowdy's shirt, or
Yeah.
something, Rowdies, because they won their conference again.
Yeah.
So they're back-to-back conference champs. They weren't actually what I don't know. They're not MLS, whatever league they're in.
Yeah, they're in the USL. The United
There you go.
Soccer
That
League.
actually their championship didn't get played last year because of COVID. So they're kind of like, back-to-back champs. And if they win, they haven't played yet, right?
No, they've not played yet.
Yeah. So if they win the championship, that would be back-to-back. And I went on the Rowdies looking for, like some cool gear or shirt or something. And he got like 5 things. I'm like, come on now. Come on, Rowdies.
I know.
Not even.
I know.
Hat.
I'm gonna have to get.
Well, there was some hats. I lied.
Gonna have to get on them.
Yeah.
Because who owns the Rowdies?
Versnick?
No, the Tampa Bay
Vers-
Rays.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you better get on them.
So.
I know they should. They should even like at the very least they should have some throwback jerseys on there.
Yeah, they should.
With the white and green stripes. Anyway.
Yeah,
I just realized like we're having a conversation. We're just like talking off air, and it's like, oh wait a minute.
Having a conversation about the Rumble City, the Rumble City or the Rocket City Trash Pandas, the Binghamton Rumble Ponies. That's. I knew you would love that one.
I gotta look at Rumble Ponies. Rumble Pony hat coming stat.
There you go.
So what surprised you about Josh? What Josh had to say about the Colts?
Yeah, for me, like I said, the fact that they're going to hang their hat on trying to run the football against a team that is, for the last 2 seasons, been the number 1 team against the run. I think that's kind of a bad way to go. For me, I think if the Bucs get ahead early, and especially if they get beyond the 1 score, if it gets to 10-0 or 14-3. You're not going to see Jonathan Taylor at that point because that's when they're going to bring in Nyheim Hines this whole time.
Yeah.
So, when they fall behind because they like to use Hines as a receiver out of the backfield, I think
he's good. He's real good.
Yeah. So I think you see a lot more of Nyheim Hines rather than Jonathan Taylor if they fall behind by more than a score in the first half. I think as long as they keep it within a touchdown, you're going to see Jonathan Taylor the whole time. So. We'll see what happens there. But, yeah, trying to rest your laurels on running the football against a team that, has proven that they stop the run. And especially if they've gotten Vita Vea back, I think that's going to be one of those issues. I do like the question, does Jonathan Taylor rush for over 100 yards on Sunday?
Again, all depends on Brady.
Yeah.
Like seriously, and it's kind of stupid because he's a quarterback, but it's like this team goes as Brady goes, and it's like, well, duh, no. But if he comes out and is hitting like 80+%, in the first half, then we're in for it. It's going to be an easier day. I don't want to say an easy day, but we're not going to sweat it. One of the callers talking about after Sundays, like I can make dinner, I can, the game's more on in the background. Now it's just, we're just waiting for the clock to run out.
Yeah.
If Brady starts out hot, if he doesn't, if he starts out around 50%, in the first half, which he has a lot this year, then we're in for more of a nail biter, which would play into the hands of Jonathan Taylor getting the ball a lot. Is he going to get 100 yards? I don't know. I mean, I would bet. I wouldn't take the bet. You know what I mean? I would bet against it. But if he does, I wouldn't be surprised either. But again, if Brady starts out hot, it's just so hard to keep up with this team and with all the weapons that they have. And if you have a weak spot, like Josh was saying, like, the opposite corner, opposite of Rock Ya-Sin, Brady's going to find it. And if you play him in zone, he's still going to find it. And so, like, they'll just overload the zone with, like Godwin, and then they'll throw Tyler Johnson in there, and then they'll like bring Gronk across late, and it's like, it's like they'll drag
Tyler Johnson and Godwin to the they'll across the field, and they'll have Gronk run the corner out route,
and they'll just clear it out, and it's and you got to end up in its zone, but no, really it's really Gronk 1-on-1 against somebody you don't want him anywhere near.
Exactly.
So yeah. Again, I felt going into this, I felt like the Bucs could lose this game, but after talking to Josh and a little bit, sorry about that, a little bit after talking to Corey, I feel a lot better. But again, I think this is going to be the Bucs' stiffest competition as of today. Again, like I said, the Bills can come around, but as of today, I think this is going to be the hardest game the Bucs have left. But I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yep, and it should be an interesting one here coming up on Sunday. Now, the plan is to.
No, I'm changing it.
You're changing the plan?
I forgot Friday's the day after Thanksgiving.
I was going to say that we're calling it audible then.
Yes, double audible.
Wichita, and we will not have
probation.
We will not have a Friday show.
No.
As we get ready for the weekend. So, with that being said, let's get your prediction for the game. I'm not going to ask you for bets, but I'll ask you for your prediction for this weekend's game.
The Bucs have just been so different on the road than at home. So, it'd be foolish to be like, oh, it's going to be this huge blowout, like I said against the Washington team. I said against the Saints. I didn't say huge blowout against the Saints, but I thought we'd handle them. But I just have this feeling that it's time for the Colts to have one of those games. You start 0-3, and then everything comes together, and you're doing well, and you're above 500. It's just going to be one of those weeks where they kind of step in it again. I just feel like Carson, I feel that Todd Bowles is going to bring a lot of pressure because Carson Wentz is one of those quarterbacks who does not deal well with pressure. He'll make some plays with his legs, and he'll get out of the pocket, pick up some first downs, but there's going to be a play, just like we saw with who the hell we just played?
The New York Giants.
Yeah, just like with Daniel Jones, where eventually he just broke down and threw it to Stevie McClendon, I just, it was just what was that? I feel Wentz still hasn't got all those kind of plays out of his system yet. So I'm going to say the Bucs win a boring first half game where it's going to be it's 13-7. I think the Bucs are going to win 27-24.
Yeah, I think I went when I asked about it, I think I went 24-17. So yeah. I'm also very
you got to stick with that.
So yeah, well, yesterday when I was on the Double Overtime podcast and I was asked for a prediction, I said I think it's going to be a lot closer than people think. I think it probably comes down to something in the fourth quarter where Tom Brady does something and Carson Wentz is not able to respond, and you get a turnover that way. Probably the only way that I think it ends up going, and it ends up being 24-17. So again, there won't be a Friday show for the Pewtercast, but we will have the Pewtercast post game on Sunday after the game against the Indianapolis Colts up in the land of the Brickyard and St. Elmo's and all that good stuff up there. So let's get on out of here, Ren. Let's get the Ren Addiction. Where can people find you?
Best place to find me is on Twitter at the Pewtercast. I'm always down to talk Buccaneers football, but if you feel like your take is too hot and don't want to put out there in Twitter sphere, feel free to slide in my DMs. I'll talk Buccaneers football with you there as well, too.
Yes, he will, and you can find me. I am at Steve Carney. Oh, before we get on out of here, congratulations to Rondé Barber. He's a semifinalist for the Pro Football Hall of Fame again. That came out about 25 minutes ago or so. So I saw that. So congratulations to Rondé. Maybe he gets to be a finalist this year. But we'll see.
It's time for Ira to hang him up.
Come on, Ira's gonna be like, yeah. So Rondé Barber.
So he got some
interceptions
and stuff.
And he got some sacks.
And, is there pastrami? I need a pastrami sandwich. Is this meeting catered or what? Come on. You got billions of dollars. Where's my locks?
Come on, Raj. Raj, get out. Where's my catering?
I don't understand why Peter King's on with the microphone. I got stuff to say.
I love Ira.
He's the best.
He's the man. All right, so I'm at Steve Carney, SaintPete9.com, of course, for Ray's stuff. You can always like, comment, and subscribe here on YouTube, and also subscribe on whatever podcast platform you're using. Leave us ratings and reviews. Thank you to our sponsor, BetUS.com. Thank you to the Fansided Network for hosting us. And until Sunday, enjoy your Thanksgiving and go buck yourself.
Gobble, gobble.
God.
I cut your gobble off.